So I came back from my run. I ate some lunch. It is now 12:50 as of now. I got 3 calls coming up. So one 1 hour call, two 30-minute calls, just to show you a little bit the schedule for this afternoon. I got a call about special project I can't yet talk about, but potentially throwing my first in-person event in 2026, massive event that I'm planning in the works. 2 AdEngine one-on-one calls right here. And then I've got a dermatology appointment afterwards because your boy has got a little cyst right here on the side of the ear that I've had now for a few years, and it's getting bigger. So I'm trying to see if I can get that removed. But nonetheless, I was also speaking to Serge Guattari yesterday and just sent him some more stuff right here to review, which essentially we were talking about throwing one of the first webinars and events in the space about AI ads. Because I was speaking to him about all the stuff that I've been working on at AdEngine and all the AI frameworks and agents that we've just been pumping and implementing into our workflow. And he was like, why don't you just put up an event and go for it? And I was like, I haven't thought about that. But knowing he's the master of throwing events, and I've run ads to multiple events. So the ad side to me is not foreign whatsoever. I ran ads for Serge, in fact, for quite a few months in 2024. 2 webinars, some paid for, some free. So I know the ad process, both that we did with them, and we did it multiple times for real estate, biz op, crypto, and so on and so forth. So I was like, okay, well, I know the ad side, but what about the back end? I'm like, can you help me figure out some of the logistics behind that? And realistically, I don't have enough time in a day to build out a Webby, which he wanted me to launch next week. So in 7 days from me recording this video. So he's like, well, let's have a chat about it. Let's see how my team can help you out. And so anyways, we've been having this back and forth to see what can be done right here and whether or not we're going to throw an actual event. Just wrapping up the workday right now. It's about 5:45 p.m. With that said, just doing some admin stuff right now. I'm going to try and blur out anything that is too sensitive right here that I can't show. But in Quebec, for whatever reason, I've been trying to register my businesses to their online version of getting documents and all that kind of jazz, and it's just been such a problem to deal with. Maybe a good time to do a live update. My fiance now is from home, or stay at home if you want. She has officially left her job about a month ago at this time, so right ahead of her wedding. And she's been helping me with a lot of this admin stuff. So she called the government, tried to figure out what was going on. And now I have to fill out 3 different forms just to get them to approve my online account. So I could finally see my taxes and all that kind of jazz online instead of receiving everything by paper. I would just wait until I'd had letters, and letters were also sent to my parents' place, which is actually where the address of the business is. So anyways, it's just this whole complicated thing. So it's part of the entrepreneurship, journey. It's not sexy at all. Just got to deal with this bunch of this paperwork right now, and because I'm the only admin essentially of the business that can actually do this legal side of things. So yeah, just gonna now finally complete this, sign those, and probably get those posted out tomorrow. You guys already know what day it is. It's content day. I'm already recording, just starting a video right here. About to go for 2 long form videos right now. I'm just batching recordings as I'm soon going on my honeymoon / getting married also. So wedding plus honeymoon right after. So just batching content for a little over a month in advance. So every week, I've just been scheduling or recording more and more content than I usually would, so that we can have this backlog ready in the future. So about to start this right now. Got 2 videos in the works. Let's get into it. So I'm back in the parking of my house. I'm just taking a quick walk after my 3-hour or so morning work block. Shot some content, as you guys might have seen in the previous clip. Now I was just recording a few audio messages to my team. Usually when I'm taking a walk, I'll start the first 10 or so minutes just to think, and then I start getting a bunch of ideas. And then I'll either do voice memo journaling, or I'll talk with GPTs AI stuff where you can speak live with it. And then if any sort of action steps come out from it, I'll just open up Slack, shoot some voice memos to the team to take action on, as I just kind of did right now about AdEngine. Because what I kind of realize is the way we've now been growing a lot with the agency and the overall business, AdEngine has become more of a core offer than the agency itself. AdEngine really is now the main offer that we're pushing.
because we're seeing that it's more mass market, there's a lot more people that we can take on into this offer. And it's like a more affordable price point for most people. And it's like a done with you. Some part of it you could say is done for you. So it's like a hybrid offer. And so we're pushing that on the front end. And then what happens is like we realize that about 15 to 25% of the clients in AdEngine are technically agency qualified. So we're talking service-based businesses like ad agencies, SaaS businesses. We're talking I'm trying to think, e-commerce brands, of course, info product coaching companies, so on and so forth. Which, so as long as like someone is spending about $10,000 to $20,000 a month on paid ads, they're definitely qualified to work with us at the agency. And now, more than ever, it's like growth operators and like growth partners, if you want, where sure we're doing paid ads, like we're called paidadvertising.com, but that's just the method that we usually use to push people into someone's offer. But now we're also doing like offer creation. We're doing funnels. We're doing systems. We're helping with the actual delivery of the product or the mechanism itself, if it's a service-based business. And if it's e-com, essentially our work is really ads, funnels, offer also with it. And service businesses will also go as far as like helping with the sales processes. So at the end of the day, we know we can control the success of a business at this point because we've worked like one-to-one / agency. We work with 276 businesses now at this point, and counting all the students that went through my programs throughout the years, we're at about 4,500 to 4,700 students, give or take, that took our stuff. So anyways, we're just kind of telling the team, hey, if you see anybody within AdEngine who's ready to kind of take things further, has the money to delegate that, and wants like a partner to come in and really implement all this stuff, like let me know, because then I can reach out and have those one-on-one conversations and then offer or help our own infrastructures, our own team's time, my own time, to help these businesses some more to really start growing from that 50, 100, 200K a month or whatever mark they're at to the next level.
I officially hit the point in the day where I'm just picking up my laptop and going outside of the office because I'm feeling a little claustrophobic in here after spending like so long in there. But I'm gonna go keep working in the kitchen. We got 2 more calls left to the day. They're both AdEngine one-on-one calls with some of our clients. One of those is you could say a SaaS company. They're doing around 10 million or so a year, and we're just gonna go through landing pages, ads, and potentially even starting to work together at the agency. Other one is with a local info product ad agency owner from Quebec, Canada, where I would like to say he's probably doing 20, 25K a month, give or take. And so for him, it's more about reviewing the offer, personal brand positioning, and so on and so forth. So anyways, going to do that. That's going to be my work setup now for this. I don't even know if I share that on here. This is going to be so random, but I'm like incredibly OCD, okay? Like it gets bad at times. I finally decided to go down to a 14-inch computer instead of a 16-inch computer. I have been debating for so long, and honestly, I don't even know if she's gonna hear me. Fiance is like sitting here and she knows that I have been debating for so long between a 14-inch and a 16-inch laptop. I had a 16-inch for years. I used to have a 13-inch back then. And I was like, man, I don't know if I did the right choice, like 16, I don't know. And then I got a 16 and I was like, it just feels big. Like I should rather just get smaller laptop, more convenient, easier to carry around. And then everything kind of ended up falling into place with my team member wanting to get a new laptop. And I was like, look, what if I just sell you at a crazy discount my brand new 16-inch laptop? And it was a black laptop. And honestly, I love space black. Don't get me wrong, it looks great when it's new. Space black and midnight as like MacBook Air and MacBook Pro colors just get crazy fingerprints. And again, this is where my OCD like triggers. I was like, no, like I'd just rather get silver. I'm like black everything usually, but silver is just better for a MacBook Pro. All right, so we're reviewing pictures from our photo shoot that you might have seen on the channel from last week. She doesn't like her pictures.
No. No.
No? So not only that, we've also gotten all the clips back right now from the closers event. So like all the B-roll where, you see me talking to people. Also my entire talk, which I might be releasing at some point on the channel. Probably more of a French channel for it because, yeah, this is going to be like a French talk entirely. So Anyways, let me know in the comments down below if you want to see my full talk in French, which I'll probably start a French channel dedicated to that at some point. I'm definitely going to have to blur out some info right here, but just sent a new agreement to one of our AdEngine clients who, again, is doing very well with his, you could call it a SaaS kind of business or platform, doing about $10 to $15 million a year, and it was now time to get him on the agency side of things. So that being said, this was kind of a reminder to me today. After kind of taking my walk earlier, I realized a lot of people in AdEngine didn't even know that we had agency services, funnily enough. So I ended up kind of making this announcement to help people like understand that they could work with us at the agency, and so on and so forth. So just kind of announced that to all of our 60 plus AdEngine one-on-one clients. Now, kind of see it in the background, but fiance's cooking up some dinner, about to start eating with her. It's 5:46 p.m. as of right now, so I'm soon going to be wrapping up my work day and call it a day. I think I'm going to be playing some Fortnite tonight with my brother and a good friend of mine, which is just always good to end a work day. Just in the lobby right now, playing with my brother and a friend. We just got absolutely demolished. But what you guys didn't see is that we won the game right before. Honestly, I don't really game that much. I'll probably play maybe one evening a week, maybe two at times. But yeah, usually I'd say one evening. I'll play for an hour or two just for fun. Always on the PS5 and whatnot. Alright boys, free feed picks and a dub right here. What, gold one. What else, gold two now? Love it. Love it. What about the match stats? 5 kills, 9 assists. My brother just carried us, to be honest. I'm out here this morning just looking into wedding vow examples because I've never actually been at a wedding, and my own wedding is going to be my first wedding. So I'm like trying to figure out what do people even say or how do they structure their vows. And I'm not going to show you, but I've got a whole document in my notes app so far with solid like first version of what my vows are going to be. I honestly like never cry. Like I'll maybe cry once or twice a year. Like it's very, very rare, is what I'd say. And this morning was one of those. Like writing those vows like started to feel real about my upcoming wedding, to say the least. So I just stopped because I've got some sales calls and team calls happening in like about 40 minutes. I'm like, I gotta man up a little bit before before those calls. But yeah, and then so I was reviewing now the pictures from a photo shoot I did for the company. It's kind of funny because I did this funny pic with my fiance essentially as the cover pic of the photo shoot. But yeah, anyways, we got like all these pictures now of both my fiance and Nick, one of my sales guys. So we're, some more to come essentially right here. The team is like currently editing those. But anyways, they just asked me to review what was sent already so far this morning. I've got it on video instead of having the real full thing, but I came back home. My team member Nick just sent my fiance and I a gift for our wedding. So I opened it up, saw it was like a very nice pen and a nice word for my fiance and I. So I was like, hey, thank you so much. And then right after, like we were almost about to throw out the package, and then we noticed inside of the package that there's like another certificate for like a spa day for my fiance. So just kind of sending my fiance's live reaction. But shout out to Nick, much appreciated.
The real, it's that one voice I used to love to fucking hear. We love to hear. It's that soft one.
I'm about to go try to run my first ever 10K. I've never run more than 5 kilometers in my entire life. So like literally like 5 kilometers max is the absolute furthest I've run. And I'm just woke up this morning. I'm like, fuck it. Let me go for a 10 kilometer. So I'm listening to some David Goggins to try and pump me up a little bit before. I don't know. Honestly, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to go for a 10. If I end up doing a 6, hey, that's like fucking better than what I've ever done. If I end up doing a 7, then that's great. If I end up doing an 8, that's amazing. If it's 10, it's 10. So I'm trying out for a 10. Let's see how it goes. About to go do a little midday run. Got the fit dialed in, the new shoes, Cloud Monster.
You know, when people make memes about runners, the more gear you have, the less you run. That's like, I'm exactly that type of guy. But look at these, man, they're so fucking clean. Like again, I just got those for my birthday like about a month ago, so I've been loving those so far. I probably only put 10 kilometers into those shoes though, maybe not even, to be honest, so I gotta start using them a little more. So I never really run that much, but I always like it when I do. Like there's a park near my house where it's a perfect place to run. You can kind of hear it in my breath. Me running equals being completely out of breath. So I'm definitely trying to work on my cardio. But that being said, would I be running or walking? I'm always like thinking about stuff. Like I've already got a bunch of mental notes of things I want to work on. Like we're implementing a bunch of AI agents into the business right now. And I just had an idea essentially of how to better market those through a webinar, which we're probably going to see going live very soon. I mean, I'll probably post the event link under the YouTube comments down below, but yeah, let me get back to running now. I just got done. First ever run about 5 kilometers, did 10.3 kilometers in an hour and a half. Still got some way to go to practice, but honestly, way better than I expected. Like, yeah, proud of myself, to be honest, on this one.
It is now Monday morning and a very hot Monday morning. Literally, I think it's like 24.5 degrees inside. It's like 46 Celsius outside today, which is absolutely insane. But with that being said, had a pretty busy morning today, as Mondays usually are. But one of my media buyers announced that he was unfortunately giving his notice this past weekend. So I'm now already starting to hire and find a replacement for that. Luckily, we have a pretty filled out pipeline already of media buyers, so that's great. But yeah, he's been with us for quite some time. Just moving on to something closer to his time zone, and also started to do some like consulting and whatnot on his own, which he'd rather pursue the entrepreneur side of the journey, which is always, I like to say, like the hardest part when doing like a remote business is like kind of keeping team members on and not having them want to leave and do their own thing. And when you're in the online space, there's also this kind of delusion that, you know, making 10, 20, 30, 50, whatever K a month is like easy, because that's all the numbers that people speak about. But nonetheless, we're definitely on good terms. And so, you know, respect his decision with that. Another one of my team members, in fact, my client services director, was out of office all of last week. So we just had like an hour or so catching up this morning about that. So that was, yeah, that was kind of a team call if you'd want with this. Now, what I ended up also doing this morning is every Monday, I do like a big ad account rundown, which I gave my team. So let me kind of show you how this looks like. So every Monday, I send them a message that looks like this, like on a bunch of accounts, especially like your top spending accounts. Like which one do I think, you know, green light, red light, yellow light, and then kind of action steps per account, with like a, you know, massive like 20 to 30 minute loom, usually like breaking down every account and like what I would do on those accounts so that the team can then take action on those pieces of advice. But yeah, had one of our AdEngine clients doing, again, 10 to 15 million a year, just ended up hopping on the agency. So briefed the team on that this morning. We're off on onboarding them, I should say, tomorrow at the agency. And that's pretty much been it, I like to say, for the morning. I've got a couple more meetings coming up today. In fact, I got, I think, like 4.5 hours, give or take, of calls coming up. So Mondays, again, are usually pretty packed out days. So it's good. It's good, though. It's like front-loading the work at the start of the week, and then usually it's easier to keep on getting in the week after. We're having to have like a very dark house because, I mean, I don't know if you can even see when I show you this. Let me try and turn this around, actually. It's 24.5, and it's only like, it's not even 9 a.m. so far. It's about 8 a.m. as of right now. So that being said, it's all of our like blacked out blinds are down in the entire home. AC is blasting, but it's not able to get through the entire house. So work setup for today is this right here, just laptop essentially in the kitchen, and it's about it. Fiance is just eating breakfast as of right now, right here behind me. What I've been working on so far, it's pretty simple. I think I've showed you that a couple of times. Like every day, I just got my task list out here. So I changed some stuff on AdEngine's landing page that I had to do. Changed the end of day report for my sales rep. I had to also get an invoice from my accountant that I didn't get. Make some new ads for my Google retargeting display campaigns. A couple other calls and follow-ups and bits and bobs I got to do. And as usual, just listening to a lo-fi girl when doing all of that. Reviewing my book right now. I'm about 21 pages in out of 165 to review.
For those of you who don't know, for the last about 2 months, I've been working with a ghostwriter and editor to come up with a book. So from all the SOPs I've ever built, from all the YouTube videos I've ever done, from all the content I've ever posted inside of my AdEngine inner circle, I decided to kind of compile that and make an easy to follow book for one, any sort of beginners in the space that really want like an inexpensive and organized kind of curriculum to kind of help them go through and like learn the marketing curve that sometimes comes with online advertising. And also for any new hires that potentially wants to work with us at the agency. I was like, well, if you get this book, you're probably going to be already much further ahead than anybody else who is applying, you know, actively to work with us. So anyways, doing that review this morning. Let's see how far I can get through the book. I'm probably going to be able to do like close to halfway. So let's keep going.
Today was a packed day. I was a little longer on calls than I expected. In fact, I was, how can I see right here? I was about almost 5.5 hours, give or take, back to back on calls, which was, again, longer than I expected, to be quite honest with you. Had a lot of tasks that also added up on my plate, but I got it done. We're bringing on a new CTO at the agency in AdEngine to really help build a bunch of new systems and infrastructures that we need to keep on scaling the business and keep on, you know, delivering great results for our clients. Also, we're going to be building systems not just for us, but some of which we want to make available for all of our clients through AdEngine, such as like giving them the system that we had built internally for AI appointment setting, but to make this available for our client. Also, the system that we had done for like AI research and like first wave of ads, like everything to be done with AI. This same system that we got internally, we're now making it available to everyone through AdEngine. So had a lot of discussions about that. Onboarded a new client into the agency today. Had 4 consulting calls with AdEngine clients. Had a team call with my sales representative. Had a bunch of WhatsApp messages also waiting for me from either potential partners, clients, referrals, and all that kind of jazz. From which I ended up booking a sales call for tomorrow by just quickly replying to all messages. So I'm burnt. It's now almost 6 p.m. I promised my fiance I was going to be out of work by 6 to have a date night with her. So about to go do that. So I'm now heading about an hour drive, give or take, to go see a venue for the largest marketing event in Quebec that myself and the 2 twin brothers from GM Agency, which essentially is my content agency in Montreal, are looking to organize in early January 2026. So I'm going to visit the venue now, kind of see what the event would look like, where could we, you know, place our stuff and whatnot. We also have an event coordinator now work with us, so we're going to be meeting her out there right now. So I do realize I haven't specifically spoken about the event yet on here on YouTube. I can't share all the details yet because we're still hammering a few things on the behind the scenes. But long story short, I'm noticing a big shift in trends right now in 2025, mainly 2, which I think are pretty relevant to speak about in this video. The first one being that non-US markets are by far outperforming the US as of right now. Like if you are bilingual, trilingual, whatever, if you speak any other language than English, I don't think you realize how much money you can make right now this year in 2025. That is, most non-US markets, from what I'm noticing, and I say US, this would be true for the UK, Canada as a whole, I'd say, yeah, you could include it in there. It's like any non-major English-speaking countries are so much less sophisticated than the US, which makes it so that any sort of new offers that you launch in these markets just absolutely rips as of right now. Just general like understanding of this phenomenon is that most US based like popular industries, quote unquote, like the make money online space, the most like general biz op info offers like real estate, crypto, trading, so on and so forth, they're for the most part in a stage 4 or even you could argue stage 5 sophistication in the US, which means the only way somebody can actually convert is through identification, which is like personal branding, right? Which is why like I see guys, would it be like Iman or a bunch of guys on YouTube right now are just pushing the build a personal brand angle, because it's like, yeah, of course, it's the only thing left that really works for most major info offers or
coaching or any legit, any offers, honestly, or most major offers in markets in the US. Like I can also think about the real estate market as a whole, a lot of local contractors, like again, so many of these markets are in a stage 4, stage 5 for the most part in the US, but it's not the case in non-US markets. Would that be French Canadian market, like I am as an example from? Would it be, I have clients absolutely crushing it in Latin America. One of my clients is selling a very, very saturated e-commerce product that would never work in the US. He's making 30 million euros a year selling that in the Netherlands, Norway, and Sweden. I've got another AdEngine client that we work with, ad agency with over 75 e-com brands as clients in Mexico. Got another one which is working with local home contractors out of Brazil and just absolutely printing with like, I think 50, it was 48 or 50 active clients that he's at now. So all of that to say, there's a police guard right here, so now I'm trying to hide the camera. But all of that to say, our fiance just called me, so I had to pick this up. But what I was saying is, long story short, most offers are working better in non-US markets. We've got plenty of proof of concept around that over the last, I'd say, 12 months. And that's trend number one that I'm noticing for anybody trying to make, money in this space. Definitely get out of the US and go into non-US markets. I'm still advertising in the US because I said it earlier, identification is what works, aka personal brand, which I've had. I wish I could sit here and say I've had the foresight of seeing this years ago when I first started making content in 2015, but truthfully, it just was pure luck, to be quite honest with you. So even if you're in non-US markets, I'd still say start doing content and build a personal brand, because it's truly the one thing that can help you pass through all of these like stages of sophistication. But second insight I've seen is that with the rise of AI and the rise of like all these, BSLs and lead magnets and all the ways to like hide the sale, people now more than ever want community and they want connection. And where does this all tie back? And like, why am I going on this rant? Well, that's why I'm looking to organize an in-person event. I did it now 3 times over the last 6 months for different clients. Once in the French Canadian market, where we collected over $2.2 million in 24 hours by doing a 10K high ticket like offer pitch in that room, which was honestly an absolute record for cash collected for any client I've ever ran ads for. Second thing was another info product event, but a different angle, for a woman by a woman. Absolutely smashed it. Sold like 700 tickets, whereas like we initially planned for 500 people in the room, and it was still like 2 pricing. One was like $1,000 offer, the other one was $5,000 offer. Multiple 6 figures generated also in that room. And I just noticed this like rising trend of offline branding, like offline events, just being so good at one, conversion, but also feeding into this personal brand. Because when you meet somebody offline, right, when you shake hands, you look at them in the eyes, you have a genuine conversation, or if you're on stage, ultimately there's this kind of hierarchy that kind of creates itself where people start seeing you slightly differently, and they're like, oh shit, like I want to get close to this guy, or I want to speak to that guy, or I want to work with that guy. And that's kind of the effect that I'm trying to engineer with our own event right now in Quebec. So long story short, going to visit some venue. I was going to say some venues. One venue specifically today, which we already got a quote from. We've already thrown an event at that event before, so I'm already somewhat familiar with it. Just want to see it again in person. Make sure that we understand like where our booth would be placed, where our, like attendees would come through, and so on and so forth. So got a pretty nice drive ahead. I think 42 minutes for us to go through. Just going on the Highway 15 right now, trying to get outside of Montreal, which hey, if you're from here, you know how much traffic there usually is, but at this time of the day should be good, hopefully. So I'll see you guys there. I'm listening right now to the book Principles by Ray Dalio, and it's kind of interesting how many things that he's speaking about are happening currently in the space. Like, for starters, he's talking about how the key to growing Bridgewater to the size in which he grew it at was by utilizing computers and artificial intelligence. He was like talking about how he was one of the first people in the investment space who saw the limitations of the human mind and started thinking in principles. And then he ended up like creating a list of over 100 principles from which he was trading on, and then essentially ended up coding that into which he refers to as computers back then, which started integrating artificial intelligence as of the 2010s, is what he's saying in the audiobook. And then he's kind of talking about how, very interesting quote, which was something along those lines. Only humans can discover macro phenomenons like I did, but we can then work with computers and hand in hand with artificial intelligence to productize this knowledge and make it available to all, which I think sums up exactly what I'm currently building with AdEngine, where I've really worked hard the last 2 years to go beyond media buying tricks, tactics, and like the fluff of the ad platforms to build fundamental principles, which literally are, again, principles as what Ray Dalio would refer to. And from there, I've now started with 2 AI engineers that we've onboarded a month ago to build those into like our internal system in order to offer clients like a much faster onboarding, to get research done automatically, to learn from our current ads, to propose iterations, to organize results, and this insight came to me from one of my great friends, which I will shout out here, like Albert, about 2 years ago, when we were so ahead of our time and we didn't even realize it. Like early 2023, I paid several thousands of dollars to build a SaaS company. I still own the domain. It's creativestrategy.ai, which we ended up investing so much time and money into it and stopped just because, honestly, I was like, I can make more money with the agency and this and that. But this was way beyond its time. And now we're finally putting that back into our priorities and making this like at the forefront of our day-to-day work. And yeah, it's just kind of interesting to see how those insights do compare to the investment space, as an example, as Ray Dalio says in his book. C'est pas les deux meilleurs créateurs de contenu du Québec.
Hi guys, my name is Gwen, and I'm the friend of Justin Lalonde, and this is Gael Mercier.
Yes, sir.
What's up, dog?
What's up?
So today, my friend, is a great day. It's a big day. Okay, so today we're going to the Espace Innov, and we're talking about creating a big event, 1,000 people. Might be a great challenge. And yeah, today we came here to visit the facility, whatever.
There you go. The boys just arrived. Went to eat a quick bite before now going to see the spot in which we want to do the event at.
La télé. La télé.
Tous nos caméras sont robotisées, donc c'est vraiment des merveilles. Tu pourrais donner le même équipement à d'autres personnes, ils ne pourraient pas réaliser la même chose.
There's no way. Je m'en calais s'il faut qu'on aille broke pour amener le monde à grimper. I'm following Gwen right now on the highway, heading, I was going to say heading back home, actually he is, I'm not. I'll be going to Starbucks just to get some work done. It's 1:36 p.m. right now, and I've got almost 3 hours of call back to back starting in about 20 minutes. So yeah, luckily I brought my laptop, so it's in my backpack right here, but I don't know if you guys fucking heard that. That was a rock hitting my windshield. Got the worst luck when it comes to rocks. Damn, I don't even know if that cracked the windshield. Anyways, gotta go get some work done. The actual event venue, fucking amazing. Like nothing, they don't even consider themselves an event venue. They consider themselves like a studio. And it's like there's nothing like this that I've seen in North America. And this is what they've said too. Like every sort of technology they have, and a lot of this is proprietary. but just absolutely crazy, to be honest. It's just far. It's like an hour out from Montreal, which is why we're like contemplating right now, are we really going to be doing an event there? Are we not? Just because, again, it's far. So are we going to be able to get people to drive an hour out of Montreal? And if so, we got to do it at a time of the year where people want to drive outside of Montreal, which is winter is going to be a little harder. But nonetheless, was a great visit. And so yeah, now about to go to Starbucks to do some calls. So getting ready for an AdEngine 101 call as of now. As a good Canadian, little morning coffee right here, little setup as we're gonna take those calls. Not the most optimal. I would prefer to be at home for sure, but it's okay. I guess that's what you got to do sometimes on the road, and that's the beauty of being able to work from anywhere on a laptop. So just finished about 3 hours of calls in a Tim Hortons, which is not the most comfortable, but nonetheless, got to do what you got to do at times. So I had some pretty interesting conversations. One new agency onboarding, one new AdEngine also onboarding, so that's going to be pretty sweet. Having talks also for an event, for perhaps some speaking gigs at one event, so nonetheless great. I'm about to pack my bag, head back home, have also another call while in the car with one of my team members. I'd like to share that, to be honest. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys appreciate seeing more of the behind the scenes, I guess, because yeah, it's not always how can I say, there's work to be put in, and that's what it looks like at times.